I'm Gary Taylor, the Director of GBP Estates. I'm here to give you today the top 10 tips of what you need to know before you let your property. 1. Make sure your property is safe. If it's not safe, you are not safe. You'll be liable for prosecution for not providing your tenants a safe environment to live in. You need to make sure that the gas and electrics are tested to comply with health and safety regulations and the property is fire safe. You need to consider the number of people that are actually going into the property, and you have to consider whether they're elderly, disabled or have children. Tip number 2, make sure your property is clean. Your definition of being clean could be different to my definition of being clean. Most importantly is what exactly is clean. Clean means no trace of previous human. It does not matter if it's not modern and it's not perfectly decorated, but it must be clean. Make sure your property is presented to suit your market. What do I mean by that? It's important to get the right sort of tenants into the property to make sure that it lets quickly. If you're in an area with, say, mainly students, they may want a property that is modern and easy to clean. Present your property to the market that you're actually aiming for. Number 4, what sort of mortgage do you have on the property? If you have a buy-to-let mortgage, you already have consent to let. But if you have a standard mortgage and originally bought the property to live in for yourself, you have not automatically got consent to let. I would suggest you approach your mortgage advisor and make sure that you've got the consent to let your property and make sure that you're not breaking the terms of your mortgage agreement. 5, leaseholder consent. What does this mean? If your property is a leasehold property, you need to make sure that you've got leaseholder consent. Okay? So some leaseholders won't allow you to let a property because it's a leasehold property. What does your lease actually say about renting? Does it actually allow you to rent the property? Tip number 6, insurance. If you have householder insurance or property insurance for when you lived at this property, but then you rent it out, you've just invalidated the insurance. You need to make sure that you notify your insurance company that you're renting the property out so they can advise you whether or not you can get insured or not for letting the property out to potential tenants. You may need to seek this specific insurance for landlords to make sure you're actually covered. And what sort of tenancy agreement are you going to use? A tenancy agreement isn't one that fits all agreement. Tenancy agreements vary. For example, if you're approached by a company who wants to rent your property, it may be a company let agreement or a non-housing act contractual type tenancy agreement. If you're going to be renting it as a, say, a HMO, then you're going to be providing services to the rooms. Then you may have to consider a licence. What type of agreement are you actually going to use for this? Number 8, inventory check. An inventory is not a one-page document. An inventory can be 15, 20, 30 pages long, even longer than that. It should involve each room by room description with the contents of everything that is actually in that room. The colour, the style, the cleanliness, is there any damages? Is it fair condition? Is it slightly worn? Is there any marks? If so, where? Don't forget, that's without all the fixtures and fittings in the property as well. The next thing, don't just mention items that actually can be moved. Mention the desk, the colour of the walls, the type of wallpaper, the carpets, the curtains, the radiators, absolutely everything. Make sure that everything you've got in that property is written down because this could be used in evidence how you get the property back in the same condition and how you expect it to be left in the same condition. 9, my favourite, the deposit registration scheme. The deposit registration is becoming quite complex. It's important to make sure you know which deposit scheme you're going to be using so that you've got your paperwork in order. You must register any deposit that you hold. That deposit has to be registered in one of the schemes, either a custodial or insurance-backed scheme, and there's quite a few to choose from. You must make sure, as a landlord, that you issue a certificate to your tenants for that insured scheme. Number 10, have you educated yourself enough in the law of the landlord? As a landlord, you need to be aware of the laws relating to the rights of access of your property, the rights of quiet enjoyment, laws against harassment, Landlords and Tenant Act, Fire Safety Order, Health and Safety Act, the Housing Health and Safety Rating System, the Law of Property Act. You name it, you need to know it, because all of these things apply to you. So thank you for listening to me. If you've got any issues, any problems, you need advice, give me a call at GBP Estates. Our telephone number 01708 504455. We're on Twitter, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube. Please message me in any social media or any platform you want to, and we look at being of assistance to you.